Hello, what's your name?
My name is Rosalee.
How old are you?
I am 58.
And where are you from?
Tempe, Arizona.
And what's your current situation?
I am homeless.
Are you in the shelter
I
or
am living in the shelter with about 300 women.
how long have you been in the shelter for?
Almost 3 months now.
Nice. And were you on the streets beforehand?
I was.
For about how long?
Oh well. Okay. Well, I was home. I've been homeless for a while. After my mom passed away, I lost everything. I moved to Nevada and lived out in the desert for about a year and a half to 2 years in a tent. And then I moved from Nevada to Baltimore, Maryland. Living in a white woman in a predominantly black neighborhood was scary as all get out. Uh, Came back to Arizona, bouncing around from friend's house to friend's house, and here I am.
And what were you doing before you became homeless?
Well, I was taking care of my mother. I had a job, and my mom got really sick, and she was in the hospital, and it was when my before my mom passed away. Her birth She turned 77 on July 1st, 2 years ago, and then 22 days after that she passed, and then that's when I lost everything.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm still grieving for her, my son, and my other my partner, but it's not easy being out in the streets. It really isn't. Even in a shelter, it's kind of safe, but yet you still have to worry about losing your bed or sleeping out in the overflow. Um, yeah, it's not really easy at all. It I've cried myself to sleep for the past couple weeks because I didn't know whether I was coming or going, and I didn't know what I was doing or what I'm going to do. And it's I would not recommend this for anybody really. It's just too much. It is really too much.
You mentioned the overflow. What is that like?
The overflow is where a bunch of women sleep on a mat on the floor, and they wake you up on the hour every hour for a smoke break, and they wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you have to wait until 3 o'clock, I think, to go back in, unless you are lucky enough to get a bed. And again, it's a mat on a metal frame. They
Doesn't
can.
seem comfortable.
It's not very comfortable.
Hmm. Do you mind if I ask how you became homeless?
A lot of different reasons. I was living with some friends, and it just got to be too much. And like I said, I was bouncing around from friend's house to friend's house, and then I talked to my therapist, and he sent me here, and I've been here ever since, just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with myself.
And you mentioned that you were on the streets before you ended up in the shelter. What was that like?
That was a very scary ordeal. Very scary ordeal. Because you have too many people. You can't be. You're not safe for a woman or even a man. You're not safe because you have to worry about being raped. Honestly, you know, getting your ass kicked. It's not. It's not pretty. It really isn't. And you get to see the other side of life. Where you have people doing their drugs right out on the streets, walking through it every day, and then you have the streets that smell like piss and poop. Uh, ow. And it's something people don't expect because it's like a major culture shock too. Because you don't know what you're getting yourself into until you get there.
And how did the men treat you out here? Did they respect your boundaries?
I don't talk to anybody. I keep away from the men. I mean, I don't really associate with them. Maybe I might say hello, if that, or I'll just keep walking. And usually it's safer with a couple of other females with you because someone can always run and get the police if need be. But that's how I feel safe. As long as I'm surrounded by a couple other women with me who are happen to be walking to the store or something, at least someone will be there to be able to run or walk as quick as they can to find someone to help.
And you mentioned you were diabetic. What's it like having a disability and being homeless at the same time?
That is a very hard one because you have to figure out how you're going to get your medications, where you're going to get your medications, are you going to be able to afford your medications? That one is the toughest one right there, especially being diabetic. And you know you have to refrigerate your insulin, and there's no refrigerator. So you just have to carry it with you and hope for the best.
Are there times you've gone without your insulin?
Yes, I have. There was a couple times, and it's not a very pretty sight because it pretty much could almost put you in a diabetic coma, and then you could die. And that's why I do what I can not to. So I do take an insulin shot every night.
How hard is it to get your medication and go see a doctor for your condition?
It's not. It's not that hard. It's just a waiting game because if you go into the campus, they do have a doctor's office.
So that's like a free resource for you guys?
Yes, yes, that is.
That's good. That's good.
Sometimes they can't guarantee you your medication until the next day, so you go a day without. And other times it's like they already have it right there for you.
And is it difficult to monitor your insulin and your diet while being homeless?
Um, oh God, the diet part. That's oh, I would go on and on and on about the food because what they serve us. Okay, for instance, a couple days ago they served us some really good, like a chicken pot pie without the crust over white rice. That was delicious. 2 days later, we had that again. So it was like they're serving the same thing every other day and mixing it up with something else over and over and over.
Do you get food in overflow?
Yeah, with two of the places,
Okay,
St. Vincent de Paul's or Andre House around the corner here.
that's good. And do you have anything you would like to say to the viewers watching this
Whatever
about?
you do, please just always remember, your situation isn't as bad off as everybody else's. Until you're in this situation, you don't know what to expect because it is, again, a culture shock. Because there's just too many things, too many people. And when you find yourself in a situation like this and you have no idea, always find someone that you think you could trust to talk to and get to know them, and they can show you how to get around in the ropes, being in a homeless shelter and or on the streets.
What about for people wondering how you survive out here in the summer?
A lot of water. A lot of water. There are places around here for um, for where you can get water and a little bit of cool air because there's always some place to get water, or at least a few places that I've found around here. The Welcome Center over here, and down the street they have a place where you can get some water, the cooling off station, where you can sit down out of the sun and in the shade, and you can find water.
And have you or anybody you've known been close or have experienced heat stroke or heat exhaustion?
Yo, yes, yes, numerous times. I've the heat stroke once or twice, and I feel the effects of it because I'm not hydrated enough, or I'm overhydrated, and you still can wind up with heat stroke.
And what is that like experiencing that?
That is one of the worst feelings you'll ever have because you can't catch your breath. You're dizzy. The sun is beating down on you. You live in Arizona. You should understand and know that no matter where you are in Arizona, you have to have and drink water because it's just too hot and you need to stay hydrated.
And what would you say you need most out here to help you get back on your feet or just survive these summers?
In order to get off your feet, you need to have at least a job or some kind of income coming in so you can start saving up to get a place. That would be the biggest thing right there. Because most of us that are in the shelter don't want to be there because we're all trying our best to get out of there and get our own place. So we can feel safe and not worry about other people trying to take your stuff and or doing bodily harm.
And do you have any advice for any woman experiencing homelessness or on the verge of experiencing homelessness?
Be honest with yourself. Keep an eye on your surroundings and your area. Don't walk around at night. Always have one or two other people walking with you to wherever you're going at night because it's safer that way.
Gotcha. And do you have an email or a Venmo or Cash App that our viewers can reach you at, send you a donation or a kind message?
Well, my Cash App is not working right now, and I don't even know my Venmo right now. Um, but if it is the Cash App, it would be Rosie Bell 6685. That would be my Cash App.